What is up, guys? My name is Keggernaut, but just call me Kegg, and this video today is going to be showcasing my Weakauras that I use when I'm tanking on my Guardian Druid. Now, I have some videos up already that have some of my Weakauras, but in the past week or so, I have severely changed a lot of what my Weakauras look like, and I've added a lot more functionality, a lot more other sort of things, and I feel like it's probably a good time to show you guys because I am getting so many comments and so many questions asking me what are my Weakauras for my Guardian Druid, what are my Weakauras for my Demon Hunter. So I thought that I've got all three of my tanks and I got all three different sets of Weakauras, so I'm going to make 3 different videos on each one so that I could show you guys how they work, what's going on with them, and then also put the links in the description down below so you guys can copy, manipulate, do whatever you guys want with them, and hopefully just use them and have a good time. So let's just jump right into the Weakauras menu. This is what I'm running with right now. There's a couple extra things that aren't quite loading, and I'm not sure why, but let me just go through and add all these so that we can see everything. Let's add this. That should be everything. Okay, so it's a lot to take in right away, but it's pretty simple. So I'm just going to start from the bottom, I believe, and I'm just going to work my way up to the top and tell you guys what everything is. So this bottom row here that you guys can see, there's a lot of duplicates of some spells, and the reason is that these are all the cooldowns that we have available to us as a Guardian Druid. I have Survival Instincts, Bristling Fur, Incarnation, Lunar Beam, Bark Skin, and our artifact ability, Rage of the Sleeper. I've got all that stuff laid out here in a dynamic group so that the static images that you see that have no numbers on them, well, no cooldown numbers, that is what's going to display when you have that ability available. So if I have Bristling Fur and I could press it and activate it and get use out of it, then it'll show up. But, oh, Starfall, okay. But if it's on cooldown, it's actually going to disappear entirely. And I've set it up so that when there's about 10 seconds left, then that's going to show the cooldown, and then that's basically a heads up alert saying, hey, in 10 seconds your Bristling Fur is going to come off cooldown, you can use it again. And that kind of is the same sort of idea that I've used with all of these cooldowns at the bottom. Bark Skin works on a 20-second cooldown, Lunar Beam comes off on a 20-second cooldown, things like that, and you guys can see that for yourselves when I'm going to showcase it a little bit later at the training dummies. Now, on the left side of my rage bar, well, let's look at the rage bar first. Right in the middle, smack in the middle, we have a black rectangle which is going to grow rage in a red color, and then at 45 or higher rage, it's actually going to change colors from red to green. Now, the reason I did that is because 45 rage is basically the amount of rage that you need to use your active mitigation, to use Iron Fur, to use Mark of Ursol. That's what you need. So when the bar is green, that means that you're good to go for pressing one of your active mitigation spells. And additionally, if you decide to press Maul, if you decide to use Frenzied Regen, then you still should have enough anyway, because if the bar is green, that's just enough that you need to do whatever you want. So that's how I've set it up. And also, you see this giant yellow 0 in the middle. That's a text indicator. I used to have just a very tiny, small white text over here on the right side of the rage bar, but I've since moved it towards the middle, so it's a very clear sort of indication numerically how much rage I have. On the left side of the rage bar, we have a Galactic Guardian icon. What this is going to do is when we have Galactic Guardian as a talent and we do get a proc on it, this is going to pop up. It's going to have a glowing border around it. Not sure why it's not showing now, but that just means, hey, we have that proc, press it now, and then it'll go away. On the right side of our rage bar, we have the Guardian of Elune icon and also the Pulverize icon. If you're using the talent Guardian of Elune, which I suggest that you do a lot of the times, then this is going to show up every time you press Mangle so that you can more kind of micromanage that buff. Maybe you want to save it a little bit so that you can get more use out of Frenzied Regen, or you want to save it so you can get a slightly longer Iron Fur. Whatever you guys might want, this buff is up so that you can help track that a little bit better. Pulverize is also here because even though it's definitely the weakest of the 3 talents in that last tier, if you still like to use it, or if it ever gets buffed in the future, then there's a Weakaura for it sitting right here for you guys, all fine and dandy. On the right side here, we have a Frenzied Regen little counter. I found this on the Guardian Druid Discord channel. It basically, what it does is it shows you how many stacks of Frenzied Regen that you have, first and foremost, and then the 6.4%, that's how much health I'm going to get back once I use this ability. So by baseline, I have 6.4% HP that I'm going to receive when I press Frenzied Regen. If I have Guardian of Elune active, it's going to buff it up to like 7 point something. But when you take more damage, then this number here, this percent, is actually going to go up, so that you can always be tracking exactly how much of your HP you're going to get back once you press Frenzied Regen. So instead of having to game it like you take a ginormous amount of damage extremely fast, then you press Frenzied Regen, or you're slowly getting chunked down, but like it doesn't seem that bad, but you still are taking quite a lot of damage. You might not press Frenzied Regen because you don't think that it'll be a substantial heal because you were slowly knocked down, but this Weakauras helps track it where that slow chunking, instead of just having to wait for ginormous hits, you might be able to just use it right away and get like 20% of your health back instead of having to wait for those big nice ones for like 50% of your health. You can use that if you want to, but this Weakauras is just to help track that. The top right here we have a Bristling Fur Duration. So when you press Bristling Fur, this is just going to track how long it is on you. I did this because a lot of the times I found myself actually wasting a lot of the time on Bristling Fur, whether I did it too early or too late. So this allows me to track it a little bit better so that I could better understand when are the optimal times to use it in fights. On top of my rage bar, we have a couple things. On the right side, we have Thrash and Mangle, and they work kind of how this bar does down below. So if Mangle is active, if Mangle is available, it's going to just show up normally. When I press it, it's going to disappear. When it gets around 2 or 3 seconds left, it's going to show back up, and it's going to show the cooldown, and then I'm going to be able to track it then and then press it right away. If I do get a Mangle proc and it resets the cooldown, it will show up again. Same thing with Thrash. Every time that it's available, it's going to show up. If I press it, it disappears, and when it comes back with only 2 or 3 seconds left on its cooldown, it'll show up again. On the left side, we have our active mitigation duration buffs. So on the very far left, we have our Iron Fur. It's going to show how much longer we have on the buff of Iron Fur, and on the bottom right corner, it's going to show exactly how many stacks of Iron Fur that we have. Right next to it is the duration and mark of Ursal. Plain and simple, you just press it and forget it. In the middle, we have Rage of the Sleeper, but there's actually a couple more behind this. There's Rage of the Sleeper, Bark Skin, and Survival Instincts. It's going to show you exactly how long these durations are because, why would you not want to know exactly how long you're going to be taking 20, 25, 50% less damage? It's very important to know these things so that you can adjust accordingly when they're about to fall off. And on the far left over here, we have the Duration of Incarnation, Guardian of Ursoc. It's about a 30-second buff, I believe, so you can press it and generally be good, but I like to just track those things anyway. And then the big one that you guys are probably wondering what this is up at the top, these bloody talon swipes, these claws. What this does is it indicates when I have Gory Fur active. I did have a icon over here. It was very big and it had a glowing border, but it was very distracting because I didn't want to use it all the time. So I thought that I'd make use of one of these because Guardian doesn't have a lot of cool Weakauras looking things like this by default. So I thought I'd just add it and make my own, and I think it looks pretty nice. So I think that's all that I have. Let me go look at the training dummy now so I could showcase what exactly everything looks like. We have Bristling Fur, Galactic Guardian, Guardian of Elune, Rend and Tear. Well, let's look at Pulverize just to show you guys what that looks like. So let's get into combat. Everything pops up. We have a Rage bar. We have Mangle. We press that. Thrash comes off a cooldown. Press it. We got a proc on Mangle. It comes back up. Galactic Guardian is proccing over here. We have our duration of Guardian of Elune. We have our Frenzied Regen, 7.6%. That's how much health I'm getting back. Let's press Bristling Fur. It'll disappear off of my bar, and it'll show the duration up here in the top right corner. And when it has about 10 seconds left, if we get there, then it'll show back up on the bar, and you guys can see what that looks like. And basically, this is all everything is. I wish I could get a Gore proc, not a Gore, Gory Fur proc, so you guys can see what the animation looks like. It's pretty cool, but unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen. But I can show you guys. Bark Skin looks up, just a giant indicator right in the middle of the screen. 10 seconds left. Bristling Fur came back up off cooldown, and there it is. There's Gory Fur. So the reason why I have it like this, it's kind of close. This is when it's all zoomed out. It's just hugging the model of the bear, and the reason why I did that is because it doesn't look as bad now, but when you have Ursoc, when you have Xavius right in front of you, it's quite distracting to have to see that right in your way, especially since Emerald Nightmare, there's a lot of red and blacks. You kind of just want to get that out of the way so that you know exactly what you're standing in. And Gory Fur, like, it's very good to have, and you want to track it. You don't want to just throw it off right away because you might want to save that extra, you know, rage that you're saving. You might want to hold on to it a little bit more. But either way, that's why I put it there. It's just to get it out of the way, but it also looks pretty cool. And then let's just look at a couple more. Guardian of Elune, we went Lunar Beam we picked, and Incarnation. We could see what those look like. And so here they are added to the bottom of the bar. We could see, let's just put Lunar Beam on the thing so we could see what that looks like. And there we go. It doesn't really show up anywhere else because we have used it already, so it's not going to show up at the bottom bar. But we can look at what Incarnation looks like. And there we go. For 30 seconds, we're going to have that that buff on the left side of our rage bar, clearly showing how much time we have left on this ability. It's pretty cool, pretty simple. I like how everything turned out. There is a couple gripes I have, though. Like, I wish I would be able to get this number a little bit bigger on Iron Fur, but I generally could see it pretty fine. It doesn't look too bad. And yeah, that seems to be it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are interested in these Weakauras, I have all of the links down in the description. There's a link to a paste bin, and I also put the names of the groups there. It should really be only 3 groups if I remember correctly. Just the bear UI, basically, the bear cooldowns, and then also the Frenzied Regen thing here. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Leave your thoughts if you guys liked it, if you guys are finally relieved that I have this video out. Whatever you guys think is appropriate for this video. So thank you guys one more time so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.